So I have been asked a few times over the last year or so, what do I pack in my carry-on for a long haul flight or an overnight flight? So that is what I'm sharing with you today. We just got back from Scotland. I'll tell you how I packed for going over and then how I packed for coming back, what happened to our trip that got delayed, and what you might want then in case of emergency. So I did take some footage when we first got back of the bags. I will put that in here as I'm talking. I use a kind of, I don't know, duffel type bag that goes under the seat. I've used it for years. I have found something similar for you at Amazon, so I will link it. A couple of reasons why I take the bags I do. I've just learned over the years what I like and why. I no longer will carry like a large tote or anything over my shoulder in the airport because I've learned over the years, you usually have a lot of stuff in that, it's heavy. All it's gonna do is wreck your neck and your back, and then you're gonna be miserable where you're going. So I almost always then will take a rolling carry-on, whether small or a little larger, depending on the trip, and then put that bag on top of it. It just makes life through the airport so much easier. Now, I think I've said before, but I am definitely a checked bag girl unless it's a short trip, short business trip. I like the duffel. I will put certain things in there that I want throughout the flight that I don't have to get up, rummage through a bag in the overhead bin. I will put that under the seat. And why I like that is I learned on our last trip to the Mediterranean, that was good to put my feet on overnight. So it kind of like lifts you up. You're more in like, you lean the seat back, you're more in like an inclined position, and it was comfortable. So that is my tip for why I have that bag under the seat. And then as far as a rolling, normally I put more valuables in there, things I don't need to get to, things I might want to purchase when I get somewhere and bring back so I have a little bit of room. On the way to a destination, I typically will bring definitely an extra pair of underwear, if not like all my underwear, an outfit to wear. So in case, God forbid your bags get delayed, and a pair of shoes. So in this instance, we were going to Scotland. I wanted to make sure I could definitely wear the outfit I had on the plane again if I had to, but I took an extra pair of shoes, underwear, pajamas, and then a rain jacket because, you never know what the weather's going to be like in Scotland. I didn't want to be without it. We were staying with family, so it's not like my husband or I couldn't have borrowed things from my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, but that's just kind of what I had in mind going over. Think of your trip, what you might at least need the first day. So as far as things I like during the flight, this is my neck pillow. It's very squishy, you can see. I've had this for years, so it's probably less firm than it used to be. I really like this one. Sometimes I'll just put it in my lap too, but I find this one very comfortable. However, my husband, I think last year, he tried this one, and again, I'll try to find this for you and link it. He tried this one, those new kind that you just lean your head on. It kind of like Velcros around your neck, and he said he thought it was comfortable. So he did use this on both trips. They give you a blanket and a pillow on the trip. A lot of times a pillow, I'll like stuff that behind my back or in between something, to kind of make me more comfortable. I typically don't use that for a pillow, but you definitely could. And even though they give you a blanket, they're very thin. So what we do, this one's a little thick, so you definitely don't need one this thick, but we bought these for Alaska several years ago. We actually have two, but now we've learned we just bring one because it's large enough to put over the both of us. And we're those people when we fly international, I always check out the planes. I make sure it's a plane where just the two of us can sit on a side. So a lot of times, like say if it's an Airbus 330, it's a 2, 4, and a 2. I have a real hard time if I have to fly on a long flight, sit next to a bunch of people. I just won't do it. I will search for different flights so it can be the both of us. It's just easier when you need to get up, use the restroom. Anyway, so this was handy overnight, just putting over the both of us when it got cold. I felt like on the way back I didn't need it. We just used the blanket they provided. So speaking of what they provide, I have this little pouch here, and I will link these pouches for you because you'll see I use these for other things. But some foam earplugs, those to me are a must on an overnight trip just because the noise of the plane itself can kind of drone on after a while. And then eye mask, we fly Delta, so I really like their eye masks. They're really thin and I find they're not too tight on my face. I've tried other eye masks that I've purchased, and a lot of them I just find I don't like. The elastic's too tight. Like I said, these are really thin. And then they did give us a new set going over, and this set actually has, I think because we were in Comfort Plus, so it has toothpaste, toothbrush, like it has a few other things in it. But again, the earplugs and eye mask to me are a must. And that is a tip too, if you are going to Scotland, if you've never been, Scotland, Alaska, a lot of those places farther up north, it stays daylight until about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So depending on when you go to bed, you may want an eye mask. And then I like it because it gets sunrise at like 3:30 in the morning. So you have a very short window of total darkness. And it will wake me up. I'm one of those people, I'm very light sensitive. I wake up when the sun comes up. So something to keep in mind if you're traveling to places like that. So anyway, this to me is a must have in my bag. I also brought a scarf, but I didn't end up using it. I brought this just because I knew I might need it on the trip while we were there. But I often bring a scarf with me just as that extra layer to put around your shoulders, depending if you have a jacket on or not. Again, this is something good to, you know, use kind of as a pillow, shove behind your back if you need some more support. So I had this, but I didn't end up using it. As far as headphones, I bring 2 different sets with me. On a shorter flight, I'll just do little earbuds to, you know, listen to music, watch TV. On overnight flights, I like my Bose noise canceling. These are an older set, but I find I only use them when I'm on really long haul flights. So they still work great. This is our bag of snacks. Again, this is a set of those plastic bags, but I always have snacks with me because I feel like in the airport, there might not be great choices sometimes, or you just want a little something. I'm one of those, I have to have like emergency snack because I don't want to be without something and then make like a terrible choice. We ate the 2 macro bars in here. Is it called Go Macro or something? They have good macros. Those are nice. These fig bars are more a little bit sugary, but we always put a few bars in there. I take a little thing of Redmond salt. We started doing this last year. One of my husband's doctor recommended he have salt in the morning, not just regular salt, like mineral salt. Pink, this is pink salt in his water. So we always take that, especially if you're going on, you know, again, a long haul flight where you're going to be dehydrated, you need some extra minerals, and if you're going somewhere hot. So we also have these electrolytes, and I brought, I don't know, a few packets, and we usually share one between the 2 of us. It definitely comes in handy if it's hot. Last year we used them quite a bit when we were in the Mediterranean because it was very hot. And it's just something to have. We used it, I think the morning we got back just to kind of replenish a bit, and I think the morning possibly we're leaving in the airport or something, you know, you should put it in your water bottle. So I feel like those really come in handy. So always a bag of snacks and things like that. So for a while now, I've been bringing a fan with me. This one I actually got at a golf tournament. It's nice and thin, but I've shared before from my Amazon travel, the one I have from Amazon. I just didn't bring that one this time, but that's the one I have and recommend as well. And these are great if you're going on a hot destination, you want to just put in your bag. So if you're waiting in line somewhere, waiting on a bus, you know, your whatever transportation, but also if you're waiting on the tarmac a while, you know, in those planes it could get hot. And we did that a couple times this trip. So I feel like these come in handy, and you can see how thin they are. They don't take up hardly any room. Another must have for me on a long haul flight, I've done this a few times now, is compression socks. So I have 2 pair. This is the pair I really like and I think is really good. They come in different colors. I have black because I'm typically wearing a black pant, so I feel like they blend. So these to me are a must-have. They just keep my legs from swelling too bad on a flight, and I will actually wear them also in a car. Like if the car ride's like 8 hours or more, I'll definitely put these on. So these are a total must-have. Of course, I always have like tissues, mints, things you might want to grab. Of course, medications, vitamins. This is a new little pill case. The vitamins my husband and I take together, I put in these, and then our separate ones I have in a different case. So I just got this from Amazon. This will be great for jewelry too. However, it is pretty small. So I like that it opens up like this and it's just magnet. They do come in different sizes, but again, this one's pretty tiny. But I thought when I was looking at it, it would be great for like small jewelry because there's little compartments. And then as far as like in a liquids bag and stuff, my husband takes one, I take one. Sometimes we divide up what's in it. I always take some disinfecting wipes. These are a pack I get from Amazon. I've used these for probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or so. These are really good. They're nice and large. And as far as the liquids bag, I think I had said before, what I've been doing lately is I always take my makeup on the flight. So it goes in my hard roller bag. And then whatever liquids are in my makeup, I will put in one of these clear bags because you always have to take it out when you are out of the country coming back. You know, we have pre-checks, so we don't ever have to do it going over, but we've always had to coming back. It depends probably on the airline too, but you know, this just has hand sanitizer, eye drops, Tide to Go. Something we definitely do on overnight trips is we have a little foldable toothbrush, and then I take a small little thing of toothpaste. Something that's great, I took maybe the last few times. So if you don't want to brush your teeth in the airplane, which I usually don't, that's something I save for the airport. You know, I'm in and out of that airplane bathroom, but these little wisps. So I'm one of those people, I have to brush my teeth before I go to bed. So before I'm gonna go to sleep for the night on the plane, these little wisps are great, and that way you can just, you know, toss them afterwards. So I always have a few of those in the bag. And then again, like foundation, liquids, things like that. Like I said, this one's actually my husband's, and then I had other things in mine. So going over, we were fine, no delays on the flight. We had everything, we had the change of clothes, you know, that worked out for us. Last year going to Italy too. What we found coming back, and this is odd because this has happened twice, both times coming back from Scotland, we got delayed. First time several years ago when we went, it was mechanical. This time it was weather. So we're almost to Atlanta. We're like in Tennessee, near Nashville. We get a weather delay. We could hold for a little bit, but of course then we needed to refuel. So we had to stop in Nashville, refuel. I felt like we were on that tarmac in Nashville forever before we finally took off again. So of course that made us miss our connecting flight in Atlanta. So we had to end up spending the night, and of course, like an idiot again, because I think, oh, we're getting home early, we have plenty of time for our connection. I did not pack a couple of things in my carry-on that I told myself I was going to. So learn from my mistake, spend the night in a hotel room. Thankfully we had toothbrush and toothpaste. Usually I will put my deodorant from my toiletry bag in my liquids that morning, sometimes going over, sometimes not. That is something to do. I would buy a small thing of deodorant that you and your partner or whoever you're traveling with can share if you both don't have one. So I would have brought a thing of deodorant. Luckily, deodorants most these days, they will last for days until you take a shower. So thankfully we didn't smell, didn't have that problem. I think I forgot to mention, I do always have my Kindle as well. So anything you want to read or look at. So a comb. I did not have a comb with me. Luckily, I had things to put my hair back. I think I put my hair back that morning going to the airport anyway, but I always have a hair tie in my purse because I take my little purse and I shove it in my bag that goes under the seat. So it has like my normal things, you know, that I might want in there, random things, but I did not have a comb. So it would have been nice to be able to brush out my hair, then just finger comb it and put it back, but at least I had something to put it back. So that is something I would suggest just in case. But again, we had kind of the basics, wasn't too bad, but you know, I had my extra pair of underwear and all that, but I would have loved to take a shower that night in the hotel, but because I didn't have a couple of things, we didn't. So learn from my mistake again. I can't believe that happened twice. And I've even told myself, don't forget those things on the way back. But I thought, what are the odds of that happening again? But it happened again, coming from the same place again. But that's kind of my reasoning for taking the 2 bags I do. Again, it's totally not necessary for a lot of people, but I've just found over the years comfort level and not stress myself out, hurt myself, all that. That's kind of why we pack what we do. Because I actually, my main bag was like a smaller bag as well. I didn't take like a great big suitcase. I have posted some pictures on Instagram of our trip and saved them in a highlight. If you would like me to do a separate video on what I wore and why, let me know below, or I can do a blog post on it. I've been noticing my Scotland what I wore video from like 6 years ago is starting to pop up again, so people must be traveling there and looking for what to wear. It's funny because I actually wore several things this time that I wore last time that worked out both times. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them below. Everything I mentioned will be linked in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.